Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Northwest Surgery Center. Menards. And by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome to the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. We are live at Greenfield High School as the Hustlin' Hawks take on the Pirates from Pewaukee in the Woodland Conference Championship. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan, and this is the Fan Pregame Show. I'm joined by the two head coaches tonight's game, Shane Covington from Greenfield and Justin Frisky from Pewaukee. Shane, let's start with you. First-year head coach here at Greenfield. So far, so good. Man, you guys doing well.
Yes, sir. Just, trying to keep going. Just make sure we take care of the little things and, try to get some momentum going into the playoffs.
Hey, as a first-year head coach, any surprises for you as far as, competition and coming in as a first-year head coach? I know a lot of paperwork, stuff like that, but any surprises for you?
The biggest thing is just honestly dealing with the parents, trying to make sure, their sons are enjoying their time here at Greenfield. And probably the next thing is just, the kids. I was very surprised about the good young men we have here and, just glad to be a part and have this opportunity.
It's awesome. Coach, congratulations. Great year for Pewaukee. Just checking in, how you feeling about this year's team? Feeling good about it?
Well, yeah, it's been a lot of fun coaching this group. They've been listening to everything we've said. They've responded when we've coached them hard. And, they come to play every single week, which is really a lot of fun. It's a senior-dominated group, and they've been through a lot of football games, and they've done a lot of great things, and we're just happy for them to have the success they've had so far this season.
Coach, I'm always impressed with the community of Pewaukee. I followed Pewaukee for a long time, and that community just loves their high school football, and certainly behind this team quite a bit. Same this year, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a couple of down years the last couple of seasons, but the crowds haven't really subsided at all. We get the same group every single week. They fill up the stands, they cheer us on, win or lose, and it's a great place to have our kids grow up and a great place to be with some really quality young men and good families.
No doubt. Coach, year two for Greenfield to be in this game. Last year they beat a really good Greendale team. This year against just a really good Pewaukee team. These kids have been part of the program. They're starting to expect to win games, and I think that's an important way to turn a program around.
Yes, sir. These guys got a good and a big group of seniors. One of the things that I'm just preaching every day is just taking care of the little things, becoming a good teammate, being men of integrity, and make sure we're, creating good young men in society. So, love the team. Once again, love the opportunity, and, just hopefully we can come out here with a W.
Hey, you learned a lot from Patrick Wagner over at Riverside. That's where you played. They got a great program this year. You wish them luck this year, I'm sure.
Yes, I think they got the conference championship as well today. Definitely an alum and definitely pulling for Riverside to get the W as well.
You bet. Coach, good luck tonight. It's good to see you. Good luck in the playoffs. Real quick, first-year guy, what can you expect Saturday in that seeding meeting?
It's a whole new world. Depends on who he's really placed with. I think that's what it comes down to. If the faces in the room are friendly, you're going to be in a good spot. If you don't know too many of them, you might have a challenge.
You bet. Boys, I'm going to cut you guys loose. On the other side of the break, Terry Kelly, John Weiser will get you the keys of the game. This is the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week only on My 24.
For the second consecutive season, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center, presents the Woodland Conference Championship game as Greenfield plays host to Pewaukee. Good evening, everyone. Along with Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you, our Greenfield High School for this exciting football game tonight. Conference title on the line.
Obviously, these teams want the title, but more importantly, they're both trying to get position for seeding in the playoffs.
It's kind of funny. This team's clinched in the same week, both divisions, and both had 6-game winning streaks snapped recently.
Right, and They want to get back. They have to right the ship, so to speak. We don't want to do that with the Pewaukee Pirate reference, but tonight is a critical game.
Both teams have battled injuries. Obviously, week 9, every team's battling an injury bug.
Right, and a number of them are going to be back tonight for Pewaukee.
Should be interesting here tonight. We'll take a look at some of the players we're going to keep an eye on here tonight. First, we'll start with Pewaukee. Mike Walters and Seth Bickett, a two-way player.
Well, you've got Mike Walters, excellent pass receiver. Seth Bickett, hard running back.
He's also an outstanding defender as well.
Yeah, he's on the defensive line, believe it or not. Very quick, very agile. Also plays along with Blaze Beltran, the defensive end.
For Greenfield tonight, I think two of the outstanding players offensively that we have in the area, and Rayvon Bartlett Jr. and Ezekiel Banks.
These two guys are tough to contain. They've amassed tremendous yardage throughout the season.
It's interesting with Banks, we're finally going to see him healthy tonight.
Right, we didn't see him last year in the conference championship game. They had to make do with what they had, and they upset Greendale.
Defensively for Greenfield tonight, Donnie Reesby and Elijah Valero.
2 first-team all-conference selections a year ago. Reesby, an outstanding defensive back. Valero, hard-hitting linebacker.
Time now for our Badger Max keys to the ball game tonight. Terry, how do we have it drawn up?
Well, for Pewaukee, their offensive line has to play big. That's critical. They need to make sure they do that. They have to make sure they find ways to contain Banks and Bartlett. Not an easy task. And maybe more importantly, they have to find a way creatively to get the ball to Mike Walters.
And for the Hustlin' Hawks tonight, what do they need to do?
They have to cut down on their penalties. They've been plagued all year with penalties. They have to slow down the running game for Pewaukee, and they have to make use of their athleticism because they have a number of outstanding athletes.
These teams have only met 6 times over the last 10 years. Pewaukee has won 5 of them, and the Pirates have shut out the Hustling Hawks in all 5 of those victories. It's the Woodland Conference Championship game tonight from Greenfield on My 24. El Trotrale Field in Greenfield, the site of the Woodland Conference Championship game tonight. Greenfield playing host to Pewaukee. Our My 24 crew, John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, Kara, all with you tonight from Greenfield. Getting set for our national anthem tonight. It's going to be the Greenfield High School Marching Band under the direction of Marissa Narlock performing our national anthem as our color guard for the U.S. Army makes their way out to the center of the field. And we're just about set for what should be an exciting night of football here in Greenfield. Right now, our Greenfield High School Marching Band performing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, our national anthem will be played by the Greenfield Marching Band under the direction of Ms. Marissa Narlock.
We're temperatures dropping into the 40s tonight. Feels like football weather here tonight.
Probably the first evening where we've had that little cool breeze whipping through, but excellent night. Weather's not going to be a factor at all.
second consecutive year Greenfield has reached the Woodland Conference Championship game. They pulled off a mild upset last year over Greendale in the championship game.
I think it had been a long, long time since Greenfield had won a championship, and so they did that last year. Joe Cook was the head coach since he's headed to Texas. Shane Covington has come in and continued on the right track.
Our United States Marine game ball presentation tonight, it's Staff Sergeant Robert Cunningham, a recruiter out of South Milwaukee, presenting our game ball to our officiating crew here tonight. Familiar crew, we had them last week, Jack Fleming's crew, calling this one here tonight. We want to thank Staff Sergeant Robert Cunningham for delivering our game ball tonight and for his service to the United States as a United States Marine. Greenfield will receive the football to start our ball game here tonight, so we're going to get a look at Ezekiel Banks. We were all hyped up last year going into that championship game. We're going to get a look at him, but he was hurt last year, so this will be our first real good look at Banks tonight.
And not only will we get to see Banks, we'll get to see Rayvon Bartlett Jr. Has had a marvelous year at quarterback. They list him as a 6'4", 210-pounder, but at practice, Coach kind of said he's probably around 225, but he can run really well.
There you get a look at Banks. He's one of the returning men out there along with Donnie Reesby. David Collins, a junior, has it teed up for Pewaukee. Pewaukee in the white jerseys, Greenfield decked out in the old green and Las Vegas gold helmets. The Woodland Conference Championship game underway from Greenfield tonight. And this will drift into the end zone for the automatic touchback. Greenfield will take over at their own 20-yard line. We want to remind you that Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com, click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from our games all season long. my24milwaukee.com. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Hustlin' Hawks. Rayvon Bartlett Jr., their quarterback. Number 4 tonight. He'll have Banks in the backfield. They'll send 4 receivers out, 3 to the near side on 1st down. From the pistol, Bartlett will give it to Banks. Banks bounces it back to the right, across the 25, gets outside the 30, to the 40, across midfield, and he'll be pulled down in Pewaukee territory near the Pirate 40-yard line.
Obviously, one of the things that can happen very quickly when you have 4 wide receivers, they spread your defense out, and if you give Ezekiel Banks any kind of a crack, he's going to find it and head upfield.
40-yard run for Banks to get things going here tonight. He'll get the second call. Again, bounces it outside. Inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Gain of about 6 on the play. And again, this season, our first down sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee, a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. 2nd and 3. Bartlett under center, Banks the single back. He'll get the call again on the stretch. Takes it inside the 33, down to about the 32-yard line. Going to be short of the first down. And there, Steele Beatty, the inside linebacker. So our first 3rd down conversion. As we take a look at the starters tonight on offense for Greenfield, and Wasilewski was a question mark coming into the game tonight.
Right, and he's the linchpin for that offensive line, and they have some big boys up front.
3rd and short here for the Hustlin' Hawks. First possession, the big run, the 40-yard run by Banks has set him up here. Davis in motion. The give, and Banks will be stopped near the first down. It'll depend on the forward progress. We'll get one more look.
Seth Pickett on the tackle. Going to bring up 4th down the line.
It's Pickett on the inside. Seth Pickett, the defensive tackle, all conference and honorable mention all state last year for the Pirates. So they will go for it on 4th down. 4th and 1 for the Hawks. They've got to get it across the Pewaukee 30-yard line. Bartlett, snap goes through his hands. It'll bounce back outside the 45, and he'll go down at the 47-yard line. A poor snap back in the shotgun formation dooms the Hustling Hawks on this first drive.
And the Hawks did shift out of that 4-receiver set. They had brought in a tight end to help try to run. They've got a pair of 300-pounders on that left side, and they were making hay, making that go.
That was Devon Jorgensen who snapped that ball back. And Pewaukee will take over at their own 47-yard line. Let's set the offense for you for Pewaukee under head coach Justin Frisky. Josh Swanson is their quarterback. Michael Walters, keep an eye on him tonight. That's going to be the key offensively for this Pirate team. Play fake, they'll hand it off. Bickett coming around the outside, gets it across midfield. Gain of about 3 on the play. Seth Bickett, 5'11 junior. Bickett has rushed for almost 700 yards and 7 touchdowns this season. One of a few that go both ways for Pirates.
And he plays on that defensive line. They have to make use of his quickness there, his agility, but obviously a very hard running back as well.
From midfield, 2nd down, 7. Hand it off on the inside once again. This time it's the fullback Berg, I believe, on the carry just for a couple that time. Gets it down short of the 45. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of contrasting styles here. You see Greenfield using multiple receivers where Pewaukee has this double wing attack, and they're going to try to run traps, counters, find ways to utilize a little bit of trickery.
Again, we want to welcome viewers to tonight's game who are watching us throughout the United States on the American Sports Network. If you'd like to see more high school sports on the American Sports Network, please go to AmericanSportsNet.com. Let us know. Welcome aboard tonight. 3rd down and short. They'll get the first down and more. Busting it across is the fullback Berg, and he'll get it deep into the 28-yard line. Gain of about 20 on the play for Brandon Berg, who picks up the first down.
He's another one of those two-way players. He also plays linebacker on defense. So you've got the 2 primary backs, Bickett and Berg, both being two-way players. We'll see if over the course of the game that's something that wears on them a bit.
Reesby and Petrosky got him down, but not before he picks up the first down at the 28-yard line. Hand it off again. Again, it's Berg taking it inside the 20-yard line, down to about the 18. Gain of 10 on the play once again. So Pewaukee getting it rolling on the ground here early on. We head downstairs, our first visit tonight with Mike McGimmer.
Guys, listen to the offensive line coach, Coach Murph here at Greenfield. Not happy right now with the offensive line. So look, leverage-wise, we need to continue to get lower than they are and drive them out. One good play, the rest he was not happy about.
Beckett breaks it back to the left and into the end zone for the touchdown. Seth Bickett, the 5'11 junior, gets the touchdown for Pewaukee. And they march it right down the field, 53 yards on their first possession. And they've established an early 6-0 lead.
In reality, they were in an unbalanced set. They had 3 linemen, obviously to the right of the center, but then a wide receiver up in the line. What they like to do is they run that trap back to the short side, took advantage of that.
Bickett, his 8th touchdown of the year. Collins for the extra point. It is up. And it is good. 7-0 Pewaukee Pirates. Just over 7.5 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. Let's head downstairs to Kara.
Thank you very much, John. I've got Jim Brandt, Vice President of Marketing and Enrollment at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Can you tell us a little bit about WLC and what sets you guys apart from other colleges?
Sure. WLC is a comprehensive Christian college. We're located near the Milwaukee County Zoo. And what really sets us apart is we've got a focus on preparing servant leaders. Our students are engaged, they understand their place in the world, and they look forward to serving and really making a difference in the workplace and in their homes and churches.
And what has been the highlight of the 2016 TNL season for you guys?
It's been a great season. What an awesome atmosphere every week. It's just so much fun to be out with all the fans, talking to parents, talking to students. It's been a great opportunity for us, and we really appreciate everything that you guys have done for us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for all that you do for our community and our education. And back to you guys.
Kara, thank you so much, and thank you, Wisconsin Lutheran College, sponsoring our first downs again this season. This is Foshee now on the return across the 30, 35-40. Foshee takes it into Pirate territory, out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Foshee in there, returning ahead of Reesby, and was Banks and Foshee back there, returning that kick, and Foshee takes it into territory brought down by Sam Ramelow. There's the drive, the scoring drive by the Pirates, 53 yards in 5 plays, taking a little over 2 minutes to take the 7-0 lead, but the Hustlin' Hawks right back where they left off at the Pewaukee 48-yard line, 1st and 10. 4 receivers, 2 to a side here for Greenfield. And it's the quarterback, Bartlett, on the keep. Bartlett gets to the 46-yard line before he is driven back. Once again, it was Brandon Berg in there going both ways in the inside linebacker spot that time to make the stop.
Well, that fumbled snap, the bad snap really threw them off when they had an excellent drive going to begin the game. So it'll be interesting to see just how Greenfield responds.
We'll go with a 3-receiver look, single back. On a throw over the middle, completes the pass to Jared Davis. Davis, a big target inside the 40, will take it down to the 36-yard line, 6'5" and a senior.
When we watched practice for Greenfield on Tuesday, we were impressed with the number of receivers they had in terms of how well they ran their routes, how well they caught the ball.
David Young, a free safety, able to make the stop out there for the Pirates. Try and run it up the left side, not much room there. Seth Bickett in on that stop for the Pirates. As we said, Bickett coming in 38 solo, 13 tackles for losses, 8 sacks on the year.
He was joined on that tackle by a guy with an excellent name for a football player, Steele Beatty, linebacker.
Dennis Boyko is the single back. Bartlett will work from the pistol, fakes the handoff, comes back near side, completes to Davis. Davis inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Second straight reception for Jared Davis, coming into the game with 9 catches but 3 for touchdowns this year.
When we were at Pewaukee's practice on Monday, we noticed them working quite heavily on trying to stop those quick passes, and they were having a little bit of difficulty getting to the proper drop.
And watching the Greenfield practice, they were working on that wheel route almost an entire practice on Tuesday. 3rd and 2. They'll hand it off. Banks, I'm not sure. Close. Ezekiel Banks had that big 40-yard run to start the ball game, and thought the Hustlin' Hawks were headed off, but Blaise Beltran able to stop him short. One more look. That hole closed up in a hurry thanks to Beltran, the 6'3" senior. So another 4th down. You remember that snap that skipped through the hands of Bartlett last time they went for it on 4th and short. Now whistles on the play here. We got a penalty marker down on the far sideline. Our first penalty of the ball game.
Dead ball, false start, number 3, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Manny McDonald, the wide receiver on that far side, might have flinched, maybe jumped across.
And they had an empty backfield that time. They had 5 receivers, 3 to the left, 2 on right. You always wonder if your quarterback's going to do quarterback draw out of that. We'll see what they do now on a 4th and long.
This will be a 4th and 6 now. Bartlett just going to quick kick it. It's going to be a short kick, rolling near the 10-yard line, and will roll dead at the 10. We'll take our break. 4:20 to go, first quarter. Pewaukee scoring on their first possession. We'll get it at the 10 when we return. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. Pirates leading the Hustlin' Hawks 7-0 here in Greenfield tonight. The Woodland Conference Championship game. Will be Pirates ball at their own 10-yard line. Full house here tonight. Speaking of full house, how about Tim Allen? He plays a family man, tries to maintain his masculinity in a house full of women. It's last man standing, weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on My 24. You like that recovery?
That was a beautiful flow. I love that.
First and 10, Pewaukee at their own 10. Try and work something over the right side. Brandon Berg getting the workman's share of carries here so far early in this ball game, the 5'11 senior.
Well, Coach Covington opted to play a little field position, see if that can, backing them up, try to flip the field.
Gain of 4 by Berg sets up a 2nd and 6. Josh Swanson, the junior quarterback, works in under center. He's going to pass, swings it out far side, and it's incomplete. Out there looking for Michael Walters, trying to get him involved here a little bit. We talked about that in our pregame.
Right, and Josh Swanson is starting to work his way into becoming more of a well-rounded quarterback. He's only throwing 90 times this year, completed a little less than half of those passes. But need to make sure they can keep Greenfield honest on D.
Bickett and Berg, the backfield behind Swanson. They'll shift to the right. They'll give it to Bickett. Bickett gets it across the 15, fighting forward, moving the pile forward, close to a first down, near the 20-yard line. Seth Bickett, 5'11", 213, and a junior, hauling the pile forward. Took 5 Hawks to get him down. And just enough for a Wisconsin Lutheran College-sponsored first down. So first and 10 Pirates at their own 20-yard line. The Hawks showing blitz. Again, they'll hand it off. Working the left side. Once again, Berg. Berg coming in 419 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Both coming against Shorewood earlier this year. Sam Wolfgrim there to bring him down. So we'll see what the Pirates want to do here. Send Bickett in motion and the play is whistled dead. A false start penalty here on the Pirates. So each team with a penalty here early on.
And Monday night at practice, Coach Frisky was having apoplexy, watching his team to continually jump offside, get little motion penalties, and I think boys are keyed up a bit.
Well, they were working on cadence. That's what they were doing. They're changing the cadence around a little bit this late in the season. 2nd and 12. Coming around the near side with it. That is Sam Ramlow. Ramlow, 268 yards on the ground this year. Makes a nice run here on the near side.
Yeah, you see how Beesby get in on that tackle. Donnie Reesby, excellent defensive back, but there was one of the mainstays of your wing T offense, having that counter come back.
Again, this is just what Pewaukee wants. They've got the lead, and they're grinding the clock down. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the quarter. Hand it off. Beckett met in the backfield. Stop back near the 30-yard line. Getting in there for the Hawks was Elijah Valero. Get one more look there. Good hustle by Valero. Lost his footing, but stayed with the play to make the tackle.
Yeah, first team all-conference player a year ago and leading tackler on the Greenfield team this year with 50 total tackles.
Officials want to measure here. You get a look at Shane Covington on the near sideline as we head back to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the offensive coaches at Greenfield. Might see them open it up a little bit, start throwing the ball a little bit. They're worried about the protection. They want to make sure they know where the linebackers are from Pewaukee, but I think you're going to see them open it up a little bit next time they get it.
Well, the measurement came up inches short, so 4th and inches from your own 30. Those are what coach's decision there, huh?
Depends if you want to play conservatively or if you have extreme confidence in your run game.
Justin Frisky, the head coach there, with the headset on for Pewaukee. They will go for it here. 4th and inches. Movement up front. Greenfield jump, but where are they drawn?
See what the official has to say.
Dead ball, encroachment, 5-yard penalty. That's first down.
First down by penalty. As we'll take another look, the interior line jumping into the neutral zone, making contact, going with that hard count.
Yeah, nobody flinched on the offensive line.
So play going to be held up here. The umpire holding up play here. Looks like an equipment issue. Looks like they're going to replace one of the linemen. It looked like Nathan Colbo came out. Ryan Beatty came back in.
Ryan Beatty was one of the players we didn't know if he played, and he was injured 2 weeks ago. 6'1", 273.
Yeah, most important player. He's the center. They're going to throw it here. They'll swing it out. Nearly picked as it was thrown short before his break. Looking for Walters out there, but wasn't quite ready for it. Second passing attempt here by Josh Swanson on this drive.
Yeah, this is not their forte, throwing the ball for Pewaukee. They love to run it, but they have to, mix in just enough passing to try to make sure Greenfield has to play them honestly.
From their own 35, it'll be 2nd and 10. Hawks fans looking for their defense to make a stop. Send Beckett in motion. He gets the carry, gets across the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard short of the 40-yard line.
I just kind of slipped on his cut here. Lost his footing.
Got natural grass here, and with all that rain last week, they actually held off putting anybody on this field for the last 2 weeks. They allowed this to get back into game shape here.
Yeah, Greenfield didn't even come out on this field last night in preparation for this game.
Final 30 seconds here of our first quarter. 3rd and 9. Inside handoff, big hole over the right side is Pickett. And he'll take it out short of the 50-yard line, a gain of 14 and a first down for the Pewaukee Pirates. Making the stop, Mike Zamora, the defensive end from that left side.
Many teams on that 3rd and long situation are going to consider going to the pass. But Pewaukee has enough confidence in their run game that they believe that their counters and counter dives can serve them well.
First quarter in the books here in Greenfield tonight. It is our Woodland Conference Championship game. Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. Pewaukee on top of Greenfield 7-0 as we start our second quarter from Greenfield High School tonight. The Woodland Conference Championship game. East Champion Hawks trailing here. Pewaukee grinding this one down. This drive started on their own 10-yard line. They've worked it out to the 49, facing a 1st and 10 to start our second quarter. We'll hand it off, and Berg getting to the line of scrimmage lost his footing. Gain of just 1. David Smith able to cover him up, the inside linebacker for Greenfield.
Got through and just got a hand on his foot and tripped him up.
They'll go unbalanced here to this near side, the double wing. Wingman in motion, that's Ramlow. They're going to throw, they're going to go for the home run down the far sideline. Leaping grab inside the 5, end zone, touchdown, Pewaukee.
The defensive back had excellent position and coverage. Walters, as we said, is a dangerous threat.
His 6th touchdown catch of the year. One more look.
Fought for the ball, took it right away from number 13, C.J. Cunningham.
The sophomore C.J. Cunningham out there on the island, and it was the senior Walters taking advantage. And the kick for the extra point is up and through, and just like that, Pewaukee on top of Greenfield, 14-0. There you get a look at Michael Walters. His 6th touchdown catch, honorable mention all-conference a year ago.
Coach Frisky told us that he was a sure-handed receiver, extremely dangerous, and he demonstrated it on that play.
Huh. Great pitch, excellent catch. As we head to the sideline once again, and Kara.
Thanks again, John. I've got Chriselle Greenwood, the Media Relations Director with the Salvation Army, down here with me. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the volunteer opportunities we can look forward to this holiday season?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the holidays are a busy time for us. We have a lot going on. There's a lot of ways you can get involved. If you want to get together with your friends and neighbors in your community, you can host a food drive, a toy drive, or go on our website, SA Milwaukee. We have a lot more opportunities. Everything from helping out at Toy Shop to our Christmas family feast.
Well, and it seems like you can spring up with an opportunity anywhere. We've been doing a food drive every week at TNL, so that's exciting too.
Yeah, absolutely. You can put together a volunteer opportunity right at your home. Like I say, if you want to host a drive for us, if you're involved with your elementary school, with your PTA organization, they pop up. You can make this happen. We'll work with you to do it wherever it's convenient for you.
Thank you so much for all that you do in our community. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kara. All season, Mike and Kara have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in the schools and our communities we visit. Our sideline reports brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Momentum of that kickoff going into the end zone, so it will be a touchback. There you look at that drive. 10-play, 90 yards, the 49-yard reception by Walters.
Yeah, we talked about Greenfield needing to be able to contain the Pewaukee running game.
Greenfield now trailing by 2 scores. You heard Mike tell us earlier they're going to try and open things up here on this drive, and they'll go to the air and go with that little underneath route. They'll complete the pass to Jared Davis. Davis making a nice catch across the 30 out to the 31-yard line. Gain of 11, and a first down brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College.
Well, Greenfield's quick strike offense and their athleticism doesn't mean that, a 2-touchdown lead is at all insurmountable.
They go right back at it in the no huddle. They give it to Banks, spinning out of a tackle. Gets it across the 30-yard line. Was short of the first down originally. That was a second down play, my bad. Brought down by Seth Bickett. Banks able to pick up the first down, so now it's officially a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Make the sponsors happy, John. You know that.
You're doing an excellent job.
They'll mark it at the 31. 1st and 10, Greenfield. Bartlett rolling. Going to dish it out. Leaping grab out in that far sideline across the 40, out to the 43-yard line. Nice catch by Sam Streeter. Streeter, the 6'1 junior at wide receiver, was the starting quarterback last season.
As a sophomore last year, did an excellent job running the Greenfield offense, but obviously Rayvon Bartlett Jr. had so much skill they decided they'd move Streeter.
Mike, what you got?
Hey guys, defensive coaches here at Greenfield talking about trying to get off the field on 3rd down. Really concerned with that. And the other thing, these players are coaching up a couple of guys in the backfield, defensive backfield. You watch this, and they're going to come up, try to bump and run a little bit with help over the top.
Streeter again on the reception, taking a couple of tacklers with him out across midfield, short of the first down. Gain of about 9 on the play. Streeter back-to-back catches, the junior.
Yeah, Coach Covington talks about what an outstanding athlete Streeter happens to be, and he's demonstrating that on this drive.
Pirates are going to burn a timeout here on defense, kind of regather themselves here, but that tells you you've got a special athlete when you can take a quarterback, move him out to wide receiver, but then replace him with another athlete in Bartlett at quarterback.
Right, and they've got some other receivers. The size that they put out there is incredible. Jared Davis is 6'5", Manny McDonald's 6'1", Elijah Rosario is 6'2", sophomore. All these fellas have a number of catches on the year.
Salvation Army would like to recognize Jessica Bell. Jessica is a member of the Echelon MKE, a young professionals volunteer group committed to the Salvation Army. She's been an active member of the events committee and volunteer projects. This year, Jessica served at a meaningful makeover for residents of the Salvation Army's Emergency Lodge, handed out water at State Fair, and collected school supplies at a Thrivent tailgate party at Miller Park. Jessica Bell is a perfect example of the Salvation Army mission of doing the most good. 10:25 to go here in the first half. 2nd and 1 for the Hustlin' Hawks at the Pewaukee 49-yard line. Good look at Rayvon Bartlett Jr. being courted by several Division I schools. Sends Streeter in motion. Low snap. It's going to be picked up by Banks. He'll break a tackle. Banks will get it across for the first down. Good hustle and recognition by Banks. Second time now they've had a problem on the shotgun snap.
Right, but you can see what an electric type of runner Ezekiel Banks is. He can take a botched play and turn it into a gain.
Connor Voigt able to get in there. There was some question whether he was going to play tonight as well for Pewaukee. It is a first down for Greenfield. Streeter again goes in motion. Bartlett with a deep drop. Wants to set the screen to Banks. Banks down the near sideline. Lowers the shoulder out of bounds. Put a hit on Voigt as he took him out. Short of the 40-yard line. Ezekiel Banks, he goes 5'10", 200. Norquist along with Voigt over there on that near side. We'll take one more look. Banks gets the call again. Banks up the middle. Kyle moves forward down to the 37-yard line. A gain of 5. Should have enough, or very close to, another first down. He's going to be short. 3rd and inches here for Greenfield. Starting to click now offensively. Starting to get into a rhythm.
That big offensive line for Greenfield starting to perhaps wear down Pewaukee's defensive front.
Dennis Boyko in for Banks here as the tailback. 3rd and 1. Bartlett going to keep it himself. Bartlett struggling forward. Not sure if he's going to get it. Brandon Berg going both ways as an inside linebacker as well as a fullback. Had him by the shirt tail that time. Stopped him short of the first down.
Well, Bartlett is throwing for over 1,600 yards. Has also rushed for 755 yards. You can see why they felt confident in moving Sam Streeter out to a wide receiver.
3rd straight drive, they will attempt to go for it on 4th down. And now play going to be stopped once again. Pewaukee going to take another timeout, their second one used on defense here.
Well, Greenfield can really stress you on defense if they do double twins on both sides, and just have that one back. That's why Banks was having such a good gain on that screen play.
This week on Faith in the Zone, former Major League pitcher and 20-game winner Russ Ortiz will join Mike McGivern and Pastor Ken Keltner to discuss his faith, how it has affected his life professionally and personally. Faith in the Zone, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., only on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. Packed house here tonight in Greenfield, the Woodland Conference Championship game. 2nd straight year Greenfield has made the conference championship game. They walked away with that beautiful trophy we have down below us at the 50-yard line.
We saw that prior to Pewaukee calling that timeout, they had an empty backfield. All they had was Raymond Bartlett standing back there all alone. We'll see if they keep that particular formation.
Now they're going to measure here. It's actually a little bit wider than little longer, I should say, than it was originally. Not sure if it was Coach Frisky who asked for that measurement or not. Again, you can always ask. It's whether or not it gets granted, right, Coach?
The officials usually try to do the thing that seems to be most fair.
They're waiting to get the chains reset on the far side. 4th and 1 for the Hustlin' Hawks at the Pewaukee 39. Empty backfield, 5 receivers, Bartlett the quarterback. Low snap again, Bartlett able to pick it up. He'll get the first down and more, diving down to the 35-yard line. Rayvon Bartlett Jr., the 6'4", 210-pound quarterback, able to use his feet for the first down and comes up a little gimpy.
That snap has been a consistent problem for him on those 4th downs.
Our fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center, minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. Like when he slid down and jammed that leg into the turf. 3 receivers. Manny McDonald goes in motion. Play action fake to Banks. Bartlett coming back near side. Wheel route near side. Going up and making the catch is Streeter. Inside the 20-yard line down to the 16. Be a 19-yard pickup and another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for the Hawks.
Once again, we saw that in practice. We saw Greenfield working on that wheel pattern, and over at Pewaukee we saw them trying to stop it, and they had the same problem. That halfback was getting out there up the sideline on the wheel.
Good recovery out there by Michael Walters on the corner. We're in the power zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. Bartlett under pressure. Bartlett able to get out of it. Bartlett out in the scramble. Inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Greenfield. Oh my, what a run by Rayvon Bartlett Jr. Broke out of 4 different tackles to take it into the house for the score.
As we pointed out, he's probably very close to 225 pounds, runs very well. You're not going to bring him down without a good solid hit.
That, my friends, is a fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. So Greenfield answers, 80-yard drive midway through this second quarter. Sharif Offman for the extra point. This one is up, and it is good. 14-7. Hawks have come back to cut it in half here thanks to the fancy footwork of Rayvon Bartlett Jr.
Yeah, they had him buried in the backfield, and he just escaped. He just straight out of that pile.
4 different tackles and finally got it into the end zone. Just what the Greenfield Hawks needed here on this drive, get points off this drive.
Well, we pointed out at the beginning of the show that Bartlett and Banks were the keys to the Greenfield offense, and they both had significant plays during that drive.
10-play, 80-yard drive, a little over 3 minutes. Bartlett, the 16-yard touchdown run. Credit Sam Streeter, a couple of clutch catches on that drive to keep the drive going. They converted on 4th down. Bartlett using his feet on the 4th down conversion.
You can see why Pewaukee wants to run the ball and run clock and not let those 2 players get on the field.
Walters and Young back deep, and Young, the speedster, has already returned 2 kickoffs for a touchdown this year.
He was 3rd in Division I last year in the 400 meters, so we know he's got some excellent speed.
The run up by Offman. Low line drive. It'll skip out, hits the defender out there. That's David Young. And then it's picked up by Walters, and Walters going to be buried back near the 5-yard line. Well, the timing of that entire return messed up with that low kick that caromed off David Young. Walters had to pick it up.
Actually, Tyler Hansen, number 47.
They will spot it at the 10-yard line, just inside the 10. One more look here. Took that strange carom off the right leg of Young. Credit the special teams play of Tyler Hansen getting down there, cover him up. So a fired up crowd here. Greenfield getting the touchdown and now pitting Pewaukee back inside their own 10-yard line. They'll run it off Ramlow around the left side. Check that, Beckett, 12 with the carry. Seth Beckett gets it out near the 18-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play for Beckett.
Well, Pewaukee can ill afford to give this ball right back to Greenfield based on how the momentum was starting to shift. So, very important drive.
Made a mistake there. That was Ramlow on that last carry for a gain of 9. 2nd down, 1. This time the Berg, the fullback, with the carry across the 20-yard line. Should have enough for a first down. Again, brought to you by the Wisconsin Lutheran College. Brandon Berg tonight, 6 carries now, over 40 yards. You're going to look, working on that snap exchange again. This time it's Jorgensen working it out on that sideline. Ramlow again on the carry around the left side. And Ramlow with some running room. Out across the 30, out of bounds near the 32-yard line. Close to a pickup of 10 that time for Sam Ramlow. Valero and Wolfgrim there to finally bring him down.
Well, Greenfield's putting 10 men in the box, and they're still not being able to stop the running game for Pewaukee.
Midway through our second quarter, 14-7 ball game. Officials are stopping play here for an equipment check. Now we're set. Might have been Cunningham back there coming off. So Cunningham's going to have to come out. They will run Benjamin Guzman out there as his replacement in the secondary. They'll send Ramlow in motion. They'll give it to the fullback. Berg with a big hole up the middle. Berg across the 45, out to the 47-yard line, a gain of 15, and another first down on the ground by the Pewaukee Pirates.
Little quick trap right up the middle.
Knocked down at the 47-yard line, first and 10, Pewaukee.
That guard got that lineman spun completely around. That opened up the hole up the middle for Berg. First and 10, Pewaukee. Again, it's Ramlow around the left side. Ramlow across midfield. Out of bounds at the Greenfield 48-yard line.
They get their tight end to hook the defensive end. They pull both those guards, make that seam right up the sideline. That's all of the old Packers sweep.
Run it in the alley right there. You can see it. You have the choice of taking it outside or running it inside with that alley set up with the pulling guard. Second down. Again, they'll stack up at the line of scrimmage. Good job that time by the interior line, taking Berg away at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So it sets up 3rd and 7 now for Pewaukee.
That's been the first negative yardage play. Our spotter, Eric Murray, pointed that out. Up to that point, everything had positive gains.
And one of the things last week with Wisconsin Lutheran against Oconomowoc, they only had 1 negative play that entire game. They'll hand it off to the wingman that time. That's Ramlow. Ramlow gets a couple out of that. Down to the 47-yard line of the Hawks. Sets up 4th and 4 for Pewaukee. It looked like DeSmet and Valero made the stop. He had some running room there and good closure that time. It was Wolfgram who actually got the first piece there. Close that hole off. So Pewaukee going to punt here at midfield, play some field position here. It's a high snap. Going to do that little rugby spread punt action. And that's going to be a nice one. Rolls inside the 10 and out of bounds just short of the 5-yard line. We'll take our break midway through this second quarter. 14-7 Pewaukee on top of Greenfield on my 24. Greenfield will start this drive at their own 8-yard line, trailing 14-7 here with just under 4:45 to go in our first half. Well, it's the toughest reality show on television. It's American Ninja Warrior. Don't miss the action tomorrow night at 7 here on my 24. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, and Kara with you tonight from Greenfield High School, the Woodland Conference Championship game. Bartlett wants to throw on first down and overshot the intended target. Banks out there on that far side. And again, we want to welcome viewers to tonight's game who are watching us throughout the United States on the American Sports Network. If you'd like to see more high school sports on the American Sports Network, please go to americansportsnet.com and let us know. I think they're questioning whether that was a lateral, backward pass, or a forward pass.
And they don't have the advantage of a replay, but I'm sure they're discussing this right now.
If it was thrown behind the line of scrimmage toward the back, we'll get our explanation here. It is a safety. So it was a lateral that went out of bounds through the end zone. Yep, it hit the pylon. We'll take a look at it here. Clearly thrown behind the line, and it did hit the pylon as it skipped out, so it would be considered a lateral going out of the end zone, which is a safety, resulting in 2 points here for Pewaukee.
Obviously that comes in at an inopportune time for Greenfield, but very important for Pewaukee, because they've got 3 different guys who are kind of being a little gimpy right now. Number 22, Sam Remlo, 28, Brandon Berg, and number 12, Seth Pickett. You know, 2 of those guys are playing both ways, and they both seem to be moving a little gingerly.
There'll be a free kick coming up here for Greenfield from the 20-yard line. Greenfield marching band here tonight. They'll perform at halftime. So once again, Pirates will drop back Walters and Young. Get a look at Justin Frisky, the head coach for Pewaukee in the red jacket. This will be Sharif Offman will tee it up on the 20 for the free kick. Walters standing inside his own 30-yard line to the near side, and David Young far side to receive this kick.
Well, with 4:40 left in this half, I'm sure Pewaukee would love to put another touchdown up on the board.
This will be a line drive kick. Walters will pick up near his own 20, across the 25, got a nice block across the 30, and he'll get wrapped up at the 34-yard line. 14-yard return out to the 34 by Michael Walters. And Pewaukee will take over following that lateral that hit the goal line pylon. Got them a safety. Coming up at halftime, we'll highlight this week's Scholar athletes from both schools, and Kara has a chance to talk with a couple of our sponsors that'll all be coming up during our halftime report here on the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. So 1st and 10, Pewaukee. And they'll give it to Beckett. Beckett, big hole across the 40. 45 breaks a tackle to midfield. Seth Beckett able to take it out to midfield. A 16-yard pickup on the ground. Donnie Reesby finally brought him down. Another fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. From midfield, 1st and 10 Pirates. And they will hand it off. This is Ramlow driven back after a couple gain. Now check that Beckett again. Valero there to make the stop. 7 tackles tonight for Elijah Valero, the senior first-team all-conference selection a year ago.
Interesting to note that Pewaukee has slipped David Young, one of their defensive backs, in here as the split end, trying to get a little different formation set up.
This is Ramlow trying to get around the left side and again tripped up just across the line of scrimmage. Once again, Wolfgram was there. Sam Wolfgram, the inside linebacker. Mike Zamora also there.
Yeah, Mike Zamora really came up and turned that play back so that Wolfgram could make that tackle.
Big third down here, 3rd and 7 from the Hawks' 47-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground. Be short of the first down. Once again, Bickett on the carry. They'll mark it just short of the first down, so it'll be 4th and 1 here for Pewaukee. Clock continues to roll. 2:40 remaining here in this second quarter.
Interesting call here, Coach Frisky. See what he opts to do.
He took 2 timeouts here in this quarter on defense, so he only has 1 timeout remaining. They got to get going it. Keeping an eye on the back judge here. He'll get it off. And diving across the 40 for the first down. This time it's Brandon Berg, the fullback, getting the call that time. The senior able to pick up the first down. Once again, first downs brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College.
Well, he and Swanson collided there in the backfield, almost threw the play completely off. Got his shoulders down and managed to plunge through there to get that first down.
Zamora there to make the stop, but it's 1st and 10 Pirates at the Greenfield 40-yard line. They'll roll Swanson out, wants to throw. Ball got there but not caught. Good coverage out there by Billy Petrosky. The junior strong safety read that play and broke on the ball.
You know, can understand what they're trying to do here, trying to throw him off with a little quick pass, but you know, even on that touchdown that they completed, there was excellent coverage. Greenfield does seem to cover well in that back, so I don't know whether they were a little antsy trying to beat the clock.
Incomplete pass stops the clock. 2:01 to go in the half. And it's Berg and Bickett in the backfield. And now they have to burn their final timeout. They were late getting a play call in, so this is their final timeout here for Pewaukee. Again, Pewaukee went with signaling for their plays this week. We were watching that in practice too. They were changing some things up there with count, snap count, and play call all signaled in.
Yeah, apparently earlier in the year they've been going on a very quick count, and for this game they were going to try to delay it, see if they could kind of draw Greenfield a little bit offside, since there was a rhythm that they'd established earlier in the year, but got to make sure it doesn't backfire and bite you.
Mike, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, listen to the offensive coaches. Hoping to get a stop here and then turn it into some points. They're feeling a little bit better about their offensive line, thinking they're playing a little bit better. Still struggling with a couple defensive linemen from Pewaukee, in particular number 70.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 here for Pewaukee. They'll hand it off. Once again, Berg, the fullback. Again, they're just going to continue to dive that play through. Now they're facing 3rd and 9, so now you would think a passing down coming up here for Pewaukee.
But we saw him run that counter
Yep.
earlier in the game on a 3rd and long.
Ramlow and Bickett will line up on the ends. The wideout is Walters. Send the man in motion. They'll give it to Berg. Berg breaking tackles. Berg moving the pile forward. Short of the 30-yard line. Going to be short of the first down as he was stacked up and driven to the turf. Inside linebacker David Smith along with Reesby finally brought him down on Valero.
And with no timeouts, Pewaukee, I was going to say, had no option for stopping the clock, but Greenfield, hoping to get that ball back, decided to call one for themselves.
It'll be 4th and 3 from the 38-yard line. Greenfield taking their first timeout. They have 2 remaining. And you get a look at Shane Covington, first-year head coach here at Greenfield. Last 4 games that these two teams played, you go back starting in 07. As I said, 4 of those shutouts pitched by Pewaukee in those head-to-head matchups. The only win by Greenfield in that span, the 9-7 game back in 2011.
Yeah, Greenfield had kind of fallen on hard times in recent years. Coach Joe Cook came in here, turned that around, and so far this year, Coach Covington and his staff has built on that momentum created last year.
So big 4th down here, 4th and 3. They will hand it off. Coming around the corner with it is Ramlow. Ramlow, I don't think got there. Tried to turn the corner on that left side and met by a Hawk defense. Looked like it was Reesby and Zamora sealed that one off for the Hustlin' Hawks. Good job there by the Greenfield defense, turning away Pewaukee on 4th down, so the Hawks will take over. 65 seconds to play. They've got 2 timeouts.
And they have the ability to hit a play big
go with
very quickly.
Trips here to the near side on 1st down. Quarterback draw. Big hole across the 35 out to the 37-yard line by Bartlett.
Pewaukee that time tried to run a little scissors stunt with their 2 inside linemen, and Bartlett went right up the middle, right between where they had vacated.
Now whistles will stop the play.
Dead ball. False start, number 74, 5-yard penalty.
Evan Axtell, the right guard, pulled out of his stance. So 2nd and manageable now turns into 2nd and long for Greenfield. And now the clock running as they're looking to the near sideline for a play.
Yeah, clock management here, a little bit of an issue.
Bartlett finally gets the snap. Took a lot of time. He's going to scramble. He's just going to throw it away. That will stop the clock with 15 seconds to go. The clock management here in this final minute. It's Berg who provided the pressure that time, forcing Bartlett out of the pocket to that far sideline.
And they were trying to run Banks again on that wheel pattern up the sideline, and he was going to be open, but the pressure thwarted that attempt.
Well, they wanted to go with Jordan, but they went with the King. Can you make heads or tails out of that?
No, I'm too
no,
simple.
What would you and Basham have done? Would you have gone with something like that?
Run right on 2.
3rd and 9 from the 33. Bartlett with time. Coming back near side, has a man open, makes the catch inside the 30. He'll mark him down at the 27-yard line. Manny McDonald with the catch. 6 seconds to go. Clock will stop while they reset the down markers. Greenfield's got to hurry up or take a timeout. They've got two. They'll finally take their timeout. One more look. Beautifully thrown ball by Rayvon Bartlett. They ruled him down. Knee was down before the ball came out.
And he got past the corner, Michael Walters there. You know, and one of the things we mentioned a little early on in this half is how many of these guys going both ways for Pewaukee, how many of them would find it a little bit more difficult to kind of continue their level of play.
Well, you've got 6 seconds left. You got time to run something into the end zone. I'm thinking it's either going 11 or 15 here. It's either going to Jared Davis or Sam Streeter. One more look. Beautifully thrown ball. Now, was he down before that ball? Ooh, my.
Ooh.
I'll reserve judgment.
That's and once again, you know, I didn't know if I'd find myself defending officials, but they don't get the advantage of replay.
Hey, Greenfield got a break. 6 seconds to go, 1st and 10. Bartlett rolling right. Comes back, screen left, has a man there. Banks down the near sideline. Banks will take it in for the touchdown. Zeke Banks gets it in from 27 yards out with the clock showing zeros.
Well, you put the ball in the hands of your two playmakers. Bartlett, a little bit of screen pass, set up.
What a nice block downfield. One of the receivers made the block on Connor Voigt. We'll take one more look here. Right there. Just one of the linemen.
I think that was 56.
That was Taylor Martin. Yep.
And 6'4", 300 pounds can kind of cover you up.
Hoffman to tie the game. It is up, and it is good. 16-14, excuse me. We'll head to the locker rooms here for halftime. What a way to close this one out, and a beautiful pass here in this first half. Greenfield has come back to cut it to 2. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. Welcome back to our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by the Northwest Surgery Center. An exciting ball game here. Greenfield scoring with no time left here in this second quarter to cut the deficit to 2, 16-14, Pewaukee holding the lead. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight a special student athletes. Our My 24 is proud to present our Scholar Athletes of the Week nominees. And from Pewaukee High School, our nominee is Seth Bickett. Seth competes in football and basketball and carries a 4.185 GPA. He was selected all-conference and all-region as a freshman and a sophomore. He was also honorable mention All-State last year as a sophomore, along with being chosen team MVP. Seth volunteers as a youth football coach as well as with Habitat for Humanity and is involved with his church's meal program. According to Coach Frisky, Seth is a great teammate and is willing to do whatever will give the team the best opportunity to succeed. And from Greenfield High School, our nominee is Drew Castle. Castle is a four-sport athlete and carries a 4.144 GPA, along with being a member of the National Honor Society. He's been honored with the Hustle and Hawk Award, the Bob Weiland Big Team Little Me Award, Athlete of the Month Awards, and Work Ethic Team Award. Drew has been selected as captain by both his track and football teams. Drew is very involved in school activities and is considered a positive role model at Greenfield. Each week we'll highlight scholar athletes who achieve great things on the field, in the classroom, and in their communities. Congratulations from My 24. 16-14, Pewaukee on top of the Hustlin' Hawks. And we head downstairs to Kara. Where's Kevin? There he is.
We've been missing him almost all season long, but we finally have him joining us on the finale of our 2016 TNL season. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. This is your second year of TNL. it'll be your second year of high school hoops going into this winter. How has your partnership with My 24 and Thursday Night Lights benefited Badger Max?
Well, it's sad it's the last week already of football, and I've missed a few games, but our partnership with My 24 has been great for us for our growth. Just being out in the atmosphere of football, basketball, showing our brand to everybody and everyone tasting it, it's been great for us. It's been enormously successful for us.
Well, and last week I mentioned that you guys really take hold of what a sponsorship should be. You guys get on site, you're sampling, you're distributing handkerchiefs for each of the teams. You've got your product on and off the field, and that's fantastic to see. How has the brand grown since you guys have joined TNL?
Well, we've quadrupled our business, but more importantly, our awareness has been important for us. Being grassroots, handing stuff out, again, being involved with the fans, the students, the players, that's been beneficial for us, and people appreciate that. And we just want to give them a good brand and show that we're proud of our brand as well.
Well, hopefully your competitors don't just try to follow the leader, right?
Nah, I did it before, so they didn't like it then. They won't like it now.
Well, thanks again for all that you provide for our community. And did you hear that, guys? They've quadrupled their business. No big deal.
We thank Kevin Mazza and Andrew Burns and the fine folks at Badger Max. They've done a fantastic job with our Thursday Night Lights, and we're looking forward to having that relationship continue with Friday Night Hoops coming up in January.
Sponsorship of the awards, it's been just an excellent relationship.
Pewaukee on top of Greenfield 16-14. We'll step aside, more halftime programming right after this. Welcome back to our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Northwest Surgery Center. Under a near hunter's moon here tonight, 16-14 Pewaukee on top of Greenfield. Speaking about Greenfield High School, let's head back down to the sideline and Kara.
That's right, guys. I've got two of our representatives from Greenfield High School down here. I've got Lisa Elliott, our superintendent, and Deborah Brooks, one of the art teachers here at Greenfield. Now, Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about Greenfield High School's motto?
It's the district motto is learning, growing, and succeeding. And what we're seeing is in the district and in our athletic teams, a lot of success. And I think it's because of the high and rigorous goals that we set for ourselves in the district, as well as coaching. Not only do we have coaching out on the athletic field, but we also have instructional coaching for all of our teachers in the district, and all of our administrators have coaches as well. So we continue to really learn, grow, so that we can all succeed around our professional abilities.
Well, and that's fantastic because eventually these students are going to become functioning adults in the real world. And now, Deborah, I want to bring it over to you. What sets Greenfield High School apart from other institutions?
Well, I feel like we have a really warm group of really caring people, both in the community and with the staff and administration. I think it's the relationships that we really work to build, and we take those relationships and build from where the students are starting, help them build their curiosity, and then they run with it and do research and start applying what they're learning into their own interests.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you two so much for allowing us to sit on your turf here at Greenfield High School, and congratulations for being in the Woodlands Championship Conference. And of course, you women are amazing in setting the standard for what an institution should be, so thank you.
Thank you.
And back to you guys.
Kara, thank you so much. And again, thank you to the fine folks here at Greenfield School District, along with the high school people here tonight for hosting My 24 and our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. 16-14. Pewaukee leading. Hustlin' Hawks able to take advantage of that fumble that was ruled down, and they were able to score on the final play of the second quarter. Once again, down to the sideline, time for a Marines U.S. Marine interview. Here's Kara.
Thank you so much, guys. I've got Staff Sergeant Cunningham. That's right. Thank you so much. Now, you've been able to travel a lot being with the United States Marine Corps. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been to over 22 different islands, countries, or U.S. territories, all in my 13 years of being a Marine. I've been to Japan, Thailand, the Philippines, Germany, Azerbaijan, just to name a few.
And what exactly is your job in the Marines aside from being a recruiter?
So when I'm in the operating forces, my job is a small craft mechanic / coxswain. So what that means is I work on a small boat, not only to maintain it, but I also operate it and make sure that the crew that is with me is safe and we operate in different environments.
And why would you encourage people out there to get involved in the Marines?
Everyone has their own choices for joining the military. There's a few to name. Some people want to travel on adventure. Some want financial stability later on down the future, and just a retirement plan, just to name a couple.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do for our country, Staff Sergeant Cunningham, and back to you.
Kara, thank you so much. We'll be back with more of our halftime programming here from Greenfield. 2-point ball game on My 24. Welcome back to Greenfield High School. Our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Northwest Surgery Center. Pewaukee and Greenfield, the Woodland Conference Championship here tonight. Pewaukee up by 2. As we head down to the sideline, our U.S. Army interview. Once again, here's Kara.
Thanks again, John. Sergeant Ryan Morris down here with me. Can you tell us about the qualifications for joining the Army?
Absolutely. So some of the qualifications for joining the United States Army, you have to be between the ages of 17 to 34 at time of enlistment. Pretty good physical, sound health, and you have to have a good, clean background as well.
And what exactly is your job in the Army?
My job in the Army is logistics specialist, which means I have to make sure my unit has all the parts and supplies they need to make sure they can do their job to get the mission accomplished.
And I think one thing that we've now have an understanding is that you're not just joining the battlefield, that there are plenty of opportunities other than just being out on the field in the Army and both the Marines.
Absolutely. So there's 150 jobs active duty, 120 reserves. 120 jobs are all support jobs, so you can be medical, you can be logistics, computers, whatever you want.
And why has it been important for the United States Army to be a part of Thursday Night Lights?
It's been really important and a privilege to be a part of the Thursday Night Lights because it's great to get out here in the community, represent the Army, and answer important questions that young men and women have about their future.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do for our country and joining us for Thursday Night Lights. Back to you guys upstairs.
Kara, thank you so much. Leads us now into our United States Army highlights, brought to you by the U.S. Army. Army strong, and it was Pewaukee getting on the board first after stopping Greenfield on fourth down. The big run up the middle by Seth Bickett. That made it 7-0. They opened up a 14-point lead on this beautiful pass from Swanson to Michael Walters.
Yeah, they got it into Mike Walters' hands like they needed to, and he responded with that catch.
Greenfield on the scramble on fourth down. The quarterback, Rayvon Bartlett, able to run it in for his 18th rushing, or I should say his 12th rushing touchdown of the year. But they gave 2 points back here on this play, which was ruled a backward pass lateral that hit the pylon. That made it 16-7. But taking advantage of a late 41-yard pass play on the final play of the second quarter, the touchdown pass here to Banks. Banks able to tightrope his way into the end zone, and the extra point cut it to 2. Our highlights tonight brought to you by the United States Army. Army strong. 16-14, Pewaukee on top of Greenfield. Second half action coming your way next on My 24. And welcome back to Greenfield High School, site of the Woodland Conference Championship game tonight. It's the Pewaukee Pirates and Greenfield Hustlin' Hawks. Pirates up by 2 before we get our third quarter underway. Earlier this week, Kara had a chance to visit with the fine folks at Goodwill.
Thank you so much. I've got Pat Bolter with Goodwill here with me. Now, Pat, as we head into fall, why is Goodwill such a great destination for Halloween?
Well, for us, Halloween is like Christmas. If you're still racking your brain for that great Halloween costume idea and don't want to spend a fortune, we're your go-to destination for Halloween. We have unbelievable costuming and accessories and decor ideas for your home. Really the go-to place for Halloween, all at affordable prices. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars on a costume, come to Goodwill and we'll help you put together these fantastic costumes and ideas. Go to our website for it all, amazinggoodwill.com. There's a Halloween section, and we have everything from pumpkin carving templates and videos on how to put some of these costumes together.
Well, thank you so much for all that you offer for our community and, of course, for supporting Thursday Night Lights.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara and Pat, thank you so much. And we thank the fine folks at Goodwill for being on board again this season for Thursday Night Lights. Third quarter set to begin. Pewaukee
via that safety, leading this ball game by 2, 16-14. Both teams will head into the playoffs next week. But one of these teams will be going in as a conference champion. Again, we want to remind you that Thursday Night Lights, available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games.
Michael Walters, David Young, back deep. Tariq Mountain to kick off for Greenfield.
Pewaukee will get the football to start this third quarter. Sharif Offman with the kick. And they'll fake the reverse. Coming around the far side with it is Michael Walters. Walters takes it out across the 35-yard line, short of the 40. Good return here for the Pewaukee Pirates. They'll be in good shape here field position-wise to open up this third quarter. We'll fake on the reverse, and then Walters on his way down that far sideline, finally pulled down by Zach Fauché on special teams from their own 40-yard line. Swanson under center. He will hand it off, and they'll pop it on the ground once again. Good 9-yard run that time. Once again by Seth Bickett, our Scholar Athlete of the Week and a junior running back here for Pewaukee.
Yeah, that end of that second quarter, Pewaukee's two-way players are starting to run out of gas, and we've got to see if they're able to come back beginning of this half and take over the game once again.
They got Carl Renz in now at one of the running back positions. He's lined up on one of the wings here on the right side. He's in motion. He'll get the call. And that's Carl Renz, the senior, 6'4", 203 pounds, able to pick up a first down. And again, we thank the fine folks at Wisconsin Lutheran College sponsoring our first downs this season. Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee, a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. From the Greenfield 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Again, they'll give it to Renz. Renz around the left side, running out of real estate in front of his own sideline that time.
Yeah, Renz was one of those players who was a little dinged up coming into this game. Coaches weren't sure he was going to play. You know, he's 6'4", he's over 200 pounds, and last year he was honorable mention as a quarterback. But they felt they were going to make better use of him also on defense as well as offense, so they moved him away from that quarterback position.
Scored 3 touchdowns earlier this season over New Berlin West. Picked up 4 on that play, 2nd down, 6. Fumble on the exchange, Swanson able to pick it up, and he's going to be buried back at the 44-yard line.
Swanson picked up the fumble snap, got what he could out of it.
So recovery there by Josh Swanson. Again, that getting colder out there. That ball's getting slick. A little moisture off the grass tonight.
They had a rhythm going there, and all of a sudden that bobble cost them the timing on that play.
Big 3rd down here once again. 3rd and 6. They'll hand it off. Coming around the near side, spinning out of a tackle. Flag goes down. Ramlow on the carry, but we'll check out the penalty.
Comes in where you usually see holding called, somewhere in that mosh pit up on the line.
Penalty or the down. Penalty or the down. Holding, number 76.
Blaze Beltran, the right guard, the guilty party on the hold. He was a first-team All-Conference last year.
Yeah, and maybe the holding is a result of the fact that Blaze is an excellent wrestler. He was state champ last year as a heavyweight in Division I, but can't get away with that during the fall.
No grappling allowed
no
here.
grappling allowed.
Right there, you can see it. Kind of turned his man, got his hands extended and on the jersey. 3rd and 17 because of the penalty. Swanson with time. Far sideline has his man. That's Carl Renz. Renz inside the 35, still moving people forward down to the 30-yard line.
Well, they ran Renz in motion across the formation, and he wound up running what we call a wheel pattern, and he was wide open along the sideline.
One more look. Renz able to catch and go. Picks up the first down, again sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, as we head downstairs once again to Mike.
Talked to a couple coaches from Greenfield coming out at halftime. Obviously feel much better going in, only down 2, thinking they can take control of the game. Need to get a stop here, get the ball back. Feel like they can get on the outside with this speed is what they're telling me.
Well, they've got to get that ball back to take advantage of it. Right now it's the fresh legs of Carl Renz on the offense on the ground game.
Yeah, if they get a chance to rest Seth Beckett a little bit, Brandon Berg, take a little bit of that load off them since they're playing on defense.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 25. Renz goes in motion. Work it off the inside handoff to the far side once again. Renz lined up in that right wing, took the handoff going left. Short of the first down. Bring up 3rd and 1 now from the 22-yard line. Just underway 3rd quarter. First possession of the ball of the second half for Pewaukee. You look at their coaching staff. One signaling the count, the other signaling the play.
Yeah, taking quite a bit of time to get this play in. We'll see if official starts counting down.
Swanson gets it off. It's the big man rolling his way inside the 15-yard line. Bickett with the carry will get the first down once again for the Pirates.
Well, he followed behind Austin Lyons, a 6'4", 286-pound senior. Jack Wendelberger, a 6 foot, 280-pound senior on that left side to get that critical first down.
Well, they've entered the power zone, and again, thanks to the folks at Goodwill, this season when a team drives inside their opponent's 20-yard line, they've entered the power zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. 1st and 10 from the Greenfield 15. Give it to the big fullback, and he'll bust it in. Brandon Berg in for the score. Untouched from 15 yards out, and Pewaukee increases their lead.
Well, a quick little trap up the middle. It's worked well for Pewaukee. It's a replay coming here. Pulled, they got doubled down. Backside guard came and kicked out.
3rd touchdown of the season for the fullback Brandon Berg. Collins to add the extra point. Kick is on the way, and it is good. Pewaukee answers the Greenfield late 2nd quarter touchdown. 3rd quarter opening drive. 23-14 your score now in favor of Pewaukee. Once again down to the sidelines, and Kara.
Thank you very much, John. I've got both of the lovely ladies from Northwest Surgery Center down with me, Gail and Stephanie. What has been the highlight of your season for TNL?
Oh, it's just been so much fun coming out here every week and seeing all the fans and all the parents and all of you guys.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming out for us and supporting Thursday Night Lights. And obviously we have a Hawks mom down here. It's a pretty close game. What do you think?
I'm getting nervous. I hope we win.
Well, this is definitely for the Woodlands Conference Championship, so we can only hope so. Well, thanks again, you guys, for supporting Thursday Night Lights, and back to you.
Kara, thank you, and we thank the fine folks at Northwest Surgery Center being part of our broadcast this season. Hope they've enjoyed the ride. We've enjoyed having them on the broadcast this year. Fauché and Banks back deep to receive the kickoff. This will roll to Banks across the 10. Banks with some room. Penalty marker thrown as he makes his cut back across the 40 and out across the 45-yard line, but this might be coming back. Thrown from the referee just as Banks started to make his way through the crease.
Right, and there's one Greenfield player walking rather dejectedly back towards the sideline.
Turn, block in the back, number 11, Green.
Jared Davis, the guilty party.
Yeah, sometimes after you make a penalty like that, you hate heading back towards the sideline.
See if we can pick it up right there. You saw the shove and the second shove right there. Yep. Got him not once, but twice. So it'll be Greenfield ball back at their own 18-yard line. Last scoring drive for Pewaukee. Berg, the 15-yard touchdown run. Now under pressure once again. Bartlett downfield, hits his man across the 45 and out of bounds. Manny McDonald, his second catch tonight. McDonald, 6'1", 180, the senior.
Bartlett had his choice of open receivers that time. They had about 4 different receivers running free. So they're getting confused in the Pewaukee defensive backfield, something we heard him discussing Monday at practice.
Did all he could to hang on to that football as well. 29-yard pickup, first down. Ball out the 47-yard line. 3 receivers here to the near side. Davis in motion. Under pressure, wanted to do that wheel route once again, but the pocket collapses and down goes Bartlett.
Right,
Blaze Beltran, first one in there, collapsing the pocket that time, the defensive end for Pewaukee.
Yeah, the corner is following that guy running the inside slant, and when they're missing the coverage on the wheel man, I'm pretty sure that's something Greenfield's making note of.
Loss of 2 on the sack of Bartlett. 2nd and 12, ball back at the 45-yard line. 6.5 minutes to go here in the third. Bartlett rolling, dumps it out, and it's incomplete. David Young, the defender that time, got in there, knocked it away from Elijah Rosario, the intended receiver for the Hawks.
Right, Bartlett put that ball right on the money there, and if it hadn't been for a good hit by David Young, that would have been a completion.
David Young, the junior, coming in with 21 solo tackles on the season. Now it's 3rd and long for Greenfield.
He was an honorable mention all-conference selection last year as a sophomore.
Hawks facing a 3rd and 12 from their own 45. Trips to the near side once again for the Hawks. Low snap, Bartlett on the draw. They'll take it across midfield. He'll be short of the first down to the Pewaukee 45-yard line. Looked like Beatty and Bates got there to bring him down.
Yeah, we pointed out in the first half, when they spread their offense like that, it opens a heck of a lot of room for Bartlett to find that seam, get a good run, and gain yards.
We saw them do a little quick punt with Rayvon Bartlett. Looks like he'll line up under center here on 4th down. 4th and 2 from the 45. They'll toss sweep here to the near side. It's Banks. Banks breaks a tackle inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. Gain of 9 and a first down for Ezekiel Banks. Their fine running back, 600-yard rusher this year. One more look. It's our fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. 4 receivers to the right side, and then we've got a whistle stopping the play. It was thrown by the back judge. They have too many men on the field, perhaps.
Yeah, Greenfield trying
Illegal
to...
substitution, 12 men on the field for White. That's a 5-yard penalty.
And Greenfield going with that hurry up that time caught Pewaukee trying to make a personnel change, and 12 men coming out of the huddle.
Yeah, in that previous play when they got that first down, they ran a tight bunch formation and they had the angles blocking down, and Pewaukee pinned their defense in. Banks was able to get to that outside.
That last one, first time we saw quads there to the right side. There's head coach Justin Frisky there in your picture in the red jacket.
Once again, Pewaukee is overbalanced to their right rather than the strength of the formation.
Yeah, quads to the right side. They'll roll right, throw it right, and it's incomplete.
All right. Right now, Pewaukee's a little bit confused defensively, and they're not adjusting to these formations, and they're getting outnumbered.
Sam Streeter, the intended target that time. It's thrown over his head, incomplete. 2nd and 5 from the 31. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the third. Banks, the single back. Trips here to the near side. They'll shovel it to Banks here on the near side. Looking for blockers. Banks will take it inside the 30. Marked down near the 27-yard line.
That was that same tighter bunch formation with that trips. And they ran it yet to the short side of the field.
Connor Voigt able to make the play there. They look kind of marked here. It's well short of the first down.
Number 77, Green, 10-yard penalty.
Rajveer Singh, the left tackle, evidently guilty of a hold here. Let's take a look right there. Yep, right in your picture there. Had him by the back of the jersey. It's thrown by the linesman here on the near side. Singh, an honorable mention all-conference player as a sophomore last year. Now Greenfield will take a timeout. We'll take a break as well. 4:50 to play here in this third quarter. 23-14. Pirates on top of the Hawks. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. .450 to go here in the third. Greenfield driving, trying to answer a Pewaukee touchdown here in the third. They trail 23-14. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Hawks. Rayvon Bartlett Jr., the senior quarterback, will hand it off. Banks trying to go high hurdle that time, down to the 35-yard line.
Banks on a carry, knocked down at the 35-yard line.
Banks had that big run to start the ball game, a 40-yard run to open up things here tonight.
And he's been especially dangerous on that little screen pass that they've dumped out.
Oh, key third down here for Greenfield. Watch this one. Hurdle man. 3rd and 9. Ball at the 35 of Pewaukee. Empty backfield, 5 going out here for the Hawks. Bartlett under pressure, and down he goes. Back at the 45-yard line. Looked like Beltran was there, along with Bickett. Cabo sacked that time for the 2 defensive linemen for the Pirates.
Seth Bickett, we mentioned last year, he was first team all-conference selection as a sophomore, got honorable mention all-state, but at that time he was 231 pounds. He's cut down to 213 this year, so he can do a little better job at running back, but he still has that tenacity and quickness to do the defensive position as well.
Again, empty backfield here on 4th and 19. Kick it end over end. Yep, bounces straight out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Just a 20-yard punt, and so Pewaukee will get it back at their own 25 with 3:25 to go here in the third. Well, for all of the info on the green and gold, including special guests, players, and more, watch Locker Room Tuesday nights at 6:30 on My Place for Sports. That would be My 24.
At the outset of the show, we mentioned that one of the keys for Greenfield was getting to contain that Pewaukee running game so that they can't run the clock. we'll see what Pewaukee's going to come up with here to see if they can try to sustain another long drive.
Listen to the Wendy's Varsity Blitz Show presented by your local Pick and Save stores this Saturday morning at 10. It's Seating Meeting Saturday. Mike McGivern and Tom Swiddle will discuss who's in and where they're going, along with a few coaches as they leave their meetings. Saturdays from 10 to noon on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. Swanson wants to throw here on first down, has a man out there, and it bounces through his hands incomplete. Michael Walters, the speedster out there, the intended target. Reesby out there in coverage. So I think Justin Frisky thinking the same thing, thinking Greenfield concerned about the run. Thought he'd take a shot there.
But you notice there were two defensive backs right there in position. Been impressed with the Greenfield's defensive backs and their coverage.
2nd and 10 from the 24. Josh Swanson will hand it off. Around the left side is Ramlow. Ramlow met in the backfield and dropped down for a loss. Back inside the 25-yard line. Penalty marker also dropped in the backfield. Preliminary signal is holding here against the Pirates. Decision here, do you take the play or force the penalty?
Holding, number 76 White. That penalty will be declined.
Blaze Beltran, I believe that's his 2nd penalty tonight.
Right. Yeah, we talked about the wrestling carryover to what he might be doing. But Greenfield elected not to take the penalty because they have a 3rd and long situation it is. I'm sure they want to get that ball back as soon as they can.
Saw there he had the fistful of jersey of Sam Wolfgram that time, the inside linebacker. Greenfield will decline the penalty, setting up a 3rd and 11 for the Pirates at their own 23. Late here in the 3rd. They'll try and run it up the middle, and there's a big hole there across the 35 out to the 36-yard line, close to a first down. Think it again. Reesby may have saved a touchdown there.
I tell you, we've mentioned it once before when they converted on that little counter play in the first half. 3rd and long, no problem. We'll run the counter, and Seth just drives it up in there.
Bickett, a junior. Another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down here for Pewaukee. Try and go up the middle again with the fullback, Brandon Berg. Berg, a 5'11 senior, has a touchdown to his credit tonight. David Smith, the inside linebacker, with the stop. Give a look at the first-year head coach Shane Covington. His team needs to make a stop here late in the 3rd. Well, this is Renz again. Renz out near the 45-yard line. Tyler Alborn, senior at defensive tackle, able to make the stop for Greenfield.
Well, Renz gives them a nice little shift to be able to bring him in with his size and his running ability.
Able to convert on 3rd and long. Now they face a 3rd and short. 3rd and 1 here from their own 46. Renz again, and it's going to be close. Auburn again on the stop. And he's going to be stopped short. The down marker showing 4th down. I think we're going to get a timeout here. Official stopping play here. Bring the sticks in for a measurement, perhaps.
Buys Coach Frisky a little time to decide. It's somewhat risky in this area of the field. But by the same token, he's rather hesitant to give that ball back to Greenfield.
It's going to be a long yard, almost 2 yards to go here based on that measurement.
Yeah, 3 different times in this short yardage situation this game, they've shifted their backs over and tried to run that left side.
Future Miss Greenfield here tonight.
We'll see if they try that once again.
Justin Frisky walking up and down that sideline all night long. His team facing a 4th and 1, I should say, from the 46. The movement and jumping into the neutral zone, the Greenfield defense. Boy, that had hurt them the last 2 weeks. Penalties like that.
And I don't, we're not able to see if Josh Swanson is doing a hard count there, but, that's the second time in this game that's happened.
Would have been Michael Ratz, the inside tackle there for Greenfield, jumping the neutral zone. So the penalty gives the Pirates a first down. We're under a minute to go here in the third, and they're just content to let this thing grind down.
Well, I'm sure defensive coordinator Troy Seabrook was maddened by that. They've been stopping the run game, and all of a sudden you give them that first down.
1st and 10 from midfield. Give it to Berg, and Berg stopped at the line of scrimmage and driven back there. Once again, let's head down to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, offensive coaches and quarterback pleading with the offensive line at Greenfield. Guys, give the quarterback some time. He said, boys, if you can give me a little more time, we got receivers running free, but you have to give me more time. Offensive line said we got that, so we'll see what happens.
We'll have to wait till the 4th to see what happens there as our third quarter runs out here in Greenfield. A good one here tonight, the Woodland Conference Championship. Pewaukee and Greenfield, the Pirates on top. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center. Final 12 minutes of the regular season for both these teams. Pewaukee on top of Greenfield 23-14. The Woodland Conference Championship on the line here tonight. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, and Kara with you tonight. Late toss on this first play to start this fourth quarter. Swanson looked like he had problems with the snap and nearly tossed that behind the fullback. Stepping up to make the tackle, Valero. That's 10 tonight for Valero. So once again, third down. They've converted twice here on third down on this drive. A 3rd and long, and then the penalty, jumping offside, giving him a first down. This will be 3rd and 11 from midfield. Josh Swanson will duck in under center. Some confusion here. They're going to pass here on third down. Swanson swings it out far side, completes. Walters with the catch out of bounds. It's his 3rd catch tonight. Caught a touchdown pass back in the first half. Makes a nice catch to convert the first down.
Little naked boot action there, and they were going with that sweep look, and they were able to complete that pass. So hats off to Coach Frisky. He won that little round of chess.
12-yard pickup by Walters and a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Again, first down sponsored all season long by the fine folks at Wisconsin Lutheran College in Milwaukee. 1st and 10 Pewaukee from the 38 of Greenfield. We'll hand it off. Bickett, who is in motion, takes the ball down the far sideline. Bickett out of bounds inside the 20. Seth Bickett, the junior, he lined up on a wing here on the left side and just kept going in motion and took the handoff.
It's kind of a variation of the speed sweep set, the way he does that. He runs so close to the line of scrimmage, and once he starts heading north and south, he's a load to bring down.
Reesby and Petrosky finally pushed him out of bounds. Gain of 18 and a first down, and we're in the power zone once again, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Time they'll give it to Berg, the fullback. Big hole, Berg to the end zone, touchdown Pewaukee.
They gave that little look in motion and then just hand it to the fullback going right up the gut.
2nd touchdown tonight for the fullback, Brandon Berg. And Pewaukee has increased their lead now to 15. One more look here on the 2nd touchdown run by Brandon Berg. Well, he got quickly up into that 2nd and 3rd level, and he was gone. Collins for the extra point. And it is up and good. 30-14 as we step aside, visit with John Griffiths from Menards.
Thank you so much. I've got John Griffiths, the store manager of the Germantown Menards, here with me. Now, John, can you tell us a little bit about Menards?
Menards is a family-owned and run company with the general office right here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We've got 300 stores throughout the Midwest, 12 stores in the Milwaukee area, including ours right here in Germantown.
And why is it important for Menards to be a part of initiatives like Thursday Night Lights?
Menards definitely understands the hard work and dedication it takes from our student athletes to achieve their goals both on the field and in the classroom, and we really appreciate all the support they get from their families, the coaching staff, their teachers, the community, and we're really proud to be a part of that support.
Well, we're glad to have you on board with us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara and John, thank you so much. All season long, Mike and Kara have had the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, sharing with you information about the great things going on in the schools and communities we visit. Our sideline reports this season brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Greenfield in a 16-point hole here in the fourth. This will be Banks. Banks coming around the near side, looking for a block. Breaks it at the 30. Banks across midfield. He might go. Zeke Banks will take it all the way for the touchdown. Boy, once he got the edge set, you knew he had the speed to get the corner.
Right, and when they lined up to do that kickoff, they shifted. Pewaukee did much to their right. And once he got that angle on that outside man, he was gone. Excellent block. Key that for him.
Zeke Banks returning the kick. First one returned this year for Banks. And it comes at a clutch moment here for Greenfield. Now the Hawks will go for two here. Try and make it a one-score game. Rolling out is Bartlett. Bartlett trying to get the edge. Bartlett runs into a defender, takes a couple of them with him into the end zone for the two-point conversion. That's the strength of a 6'4", 210-plus quarterback.
You can't get a lead, I think, big enough to feel comfortable with Greenfield because the two athletes they have, Rayvon Bartlett and Ezekiel Banks, can turn this game around in an instant.
Well, Banks will call it a 90-yard touchdown on the kickoff. So they're within one touchdown and a two-point conversion with 10.5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Two FBI agents investigate the strange and unexplained. Don't miss the cult classic, The X-Files, starting next Thursday at 7 right here on My 24.
Well, the question for Pewaukee here is, can you take this ball and now drive down the field, get yourself another score, make this a two-score game?
Walters and Young back deep. Hoffman the kickoff.
Hoffman with the kick. This will be the speedster. That's Walters. Walters around the far sideline. And Walters gets out of bounds just across the 35-yard. They'll mark him out at the 30. That's where the official on that sideline is standing. So he got out a little earlier than he anticipated. So Pewaukee with the ball. They have the lead. Now they've got to respond here as the crowd back into this one for Greenfield.
And Greenfield's back into it too, not only their crowd. They've got that confidence now, Greenfield does, that if you give us the ball, we'll find a way to score.
Again, we thank our viewers tonight who are watching us throughout the United States on the American Sports Network. If you'd like to see more high school sports on the American Sports Network, please go to americansportsnet.com and let us know. And we thank you for tuning in tonight across the country. Bickett across the line of scrimmage, out near the 40 where he is stacked up there. A whole host of Hawks there to make the stop. Gain of about 5 on the play for Bickett.
Pewaukee would be very content to average 4 yards per carry and just to eat clock.
Yeah, they're in grinder mode now. If they can just move the ball, flip the field a little bit, take some time off the clock.
Well, we'll see once again if we start seeing Greenfield crowd 9, 10 guys up in the box to try to put a kibosh to this run.
They got 9 up there now. They'll run it up the gut once again. Berg, the fullback, going to be stopped short of the first down. Valero once again on the stop. He stops short of the first down. It'll set up a 3rd and about 1.
Well, Valero having an unbelievable gain, 11 tackles already. I can see why Coach Seabrook, defensive coordinator, said, you know, he's just the leader of our defense.
Elborn going out for this play. D'Angelo Rosario in now for Greenfield at the defensive tackle position. 3rd and 1 for Pewaukee at their own 45. Renz, who's come on here in the second half, spelling Ramlow and Bickett at times, is in there now to running back. And they'll give it to the fullback Berg once again, bullying his way forward. Should have enough for a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down.
Well, that time, Greenfield put a guy running through every gap on that defense. It was almost like a gap 8 front, and yet they were able to get the 2 yards they needed for that first down.
Boy, what a combination between Bickett, Berg, Ramlow, and Renz, the four-headed monster, if you will, for the Pirates. This time it's Renz coming around from the right end. Renz breaks a tackle. Renz caught the ball, and it rolls out of bounds. What a hit there. It was Valero with the hit that jarred the ball loose. One more look.
Yeah, Renz got that corner, got himself around, and Valero flashes into the picture, put his head right across the body, right into the ball.
Still enough for Renz to pick up the first down at the 37 of Greenfield. 8:42 to go here in the 4th. Pirates holding an 8-point lead. Bickett coming around the right side. Cuts it back up the middle inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. It's again Valero once again, I believe, on the stop. That's getting into double digits there.
Greenfield
13 tackles tonight.
Yeah, Greenfield forced up the field to turn that play back in, but Bickett just planted his foot, turned it upfield, and still got about 4.5, 5 yards.
Again, the Pirates just taking their sweet time. Tick, tick, tick goes the clock. 8:10 to go. Bickett in motion will get the carry. Bickett around the right side, met and stopped. May have lost a yard. Good play by the Hawks defense that time. It was Rosario, who was in for Tyler Elborn at that defensive tackle spot, picked up the tackle.
I'm not sure why Tyler's out. He's a first-team all-conference performer for them. I don't know whether, and I don't see him somewhere on the sideline.
So 3rd and 7 for the Pirates at the Greenfield 35. They might just be taking this down to take a timeout. And they will. The Pirates will take their first timeout of the second half with 7:12 remaining. They face a 3rd and 7 at the 35.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Frisky decides to do here. We did see that naked boot for that pass. You know, give it that look like it might be the sweep and then come the other way. Do they run their little trap once again or the counter? And Coach Seabrook, he's sitting over there trying to align his chess pieces and see what he can do to try to thwart this.
Well, our fine crew here, My 24 Sports, has come up with the notable alums from these two different schools. Of course, you talk Pewaukee, you got to talk about the Watt family.
Yeah. Watt.
JJ, of course, he's out now for the year with the Houston Texans. Derek Watt down at San Diego. So fullback playing along with Melvin Gordon from Kenosha. And then Greenfield, you got the punter, Matt Turk. 3-time Pro Bowler for the Washington Redskins. So this game, a springboard to professional football. 3rd and 7 from the 35. Josh Swanson, the junior quarterback, gets them set. Bickett in motion. They'll give it to Renz coming around the left side, and Renz going to be stopped short of the first down. Had a hole there, but it caved in a hurry. Renz from his right end spot off the wing. Another fancy footwork replay tonight, brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Zamora, I believe, was there along with Wolfgram. Now big 4th down here for Pewaukee. They're going to kick it away. They're going to try and pin Greenfield deep here. Renz gets a high snap, brings it down, left foot kick. That will bounce inside the 15-yard line and out of bounds at the 13. So 6:24 to play. Greenfield trailing by 8. Again, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Well, from what we've seen, time is not something that seems to hinder Greenfield. They can strike quickly.
Now, this has been a great battle here tonight. The Woodland Conference Championship, 2nd season in a row for Greenfield in the championship game. They pulled it off last year. And again, all of that means something. Other than LeBron James as king, that's all I can get out of it. But Bartlett Jr. under center. He will hand it off. That's Dennis Boyko, I believe, with the carry there. Yep, Boyko, I believe that's his first carry, maybe his second carry tonight.
On the year, Boyko's averaging over 5 yards a carry, so he's certainly more than capable, giving Banks a little bit of a break here.
It is average there, pickup of about 7. Sets up a 2nd and 3 now for the Hawks. Boyko will remain in there as the single back. Well, they drag the man in motion to the far side. Assad, the tight end. Throw it out that way through the hands of Davis, incomplete. He was there. What had enough for the first down, but it went right through his hands. Jared Davis, the 6'5 senior.
Well, I'll play the role of Captain Obvious here. This is a critical 3rd down because the last thing you want to do is give the ball back to Pewaukee and watch him grind out 3 or 4 minutes on the clock.
I think he saw the defender coming in that time. It was Nick Howard, the strong safety. He may have turtled up on that one, watching the defender come in. 3rd and 3. Boyko going to be stopped behind the line for a loss. Boyko couldn't quite get the corner on that left side. Credit the Pirate defense over there. Blaze Beltran collapsed that play down. Beltran with the penetration. Loss of 2, sets up a 4th and 5. Greenfield will take a timeout. Will break as well. 30-22. Pirates on top of the Hawks. Woodland Conference Championship game, part of the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. Greenfield with a 4th and 5 from their own 18-yard line. They will go for it, trailing by 8. Bartlett with an empty backfield. Low snap. Coming back for the wheel route, nothing there. Bartlett on the scramble, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down. That might have been Bickett on defense who came in to make the play. Bickett going both ways from his defensive tackle position. Let's take a look. got some help in there. Jarrett Schmitz. Schmitz who made the stop as we head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, just a quick shout out to former head football coach here at Greenfield, Joe Cook. Joe's back in Texas, sent me a text, said you guys are doing a great job up there. I questioned that, but he said you are.
Always do. I know that, Mike. And Joe, we thank you for tuning in. Now Pewaukee now just content to try and pound it up the middle and run some clock here, leading by 8.
I think they'd like to see if they could get themselves 8 downs and then get that final score.
4.5 minutes to go. They got the clutch stop defensively. Like as I said, now they're just going to take their sweet time running the offense here. Josh Swanson at quarterback. Bickett goes in motion. It's the fullback Berg with the call, though. Berg just moving the pile forward, pounds it down just across the 15-yard line. Brandon Berg, quite a game tonight. Both he and Bickett tonight have just been the 1-2 punch for the Pirates.
You know, it's a grinding game as compared to the explosive plays done by Greenfield.
So 3rd and 3 for Pewaukee. Ball at the Greenfield 15-yard line. Greenfield, one timeout remaining. So we reach the power zone here. Brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. 3rd and 3. And they'll pound it in for the first down. Bickett with the clutch carry. Flip the down marker. It'll be 1st and goal now inside the 10-yard line for Pewaukee.
I'm not sure whether Coach Frisky has this built-in clock that's synchronized with the game clock, but he's got to be running that awful close to be called for delay of the game.
You see Coach Justin Frisky in the red jacket. Greenfield, you got to keep them out of the end zone here to have any chance. Clock under 3 minutes. Berg fights his way forward for a couple before he is driven back. See if Greenfield takes their final timeout. And they will, stopping the clock with 2:36 to go. Some time ran off here. I think it was 2:36 when the timeout was acknowledged. You have to put some time back up on the clock. Taking a look at Pewaukee's season, you saw they had that 6-game winning streak snap a couple weeks back. Of course, they had that nice surge in the middle there. 3 shutouts in a row over Pius, New Berlin West, and Greendale.
But the Tosa West game, they lost 5 players during the course of that game, which certainly had an impact.
And last week was the non-conference crossover in the Woodland. They knocked off Shorewood Mesmer, and here's Greenfield's results, and they lost last week to New Berlin Eisenhower 31-21.
And they played a tough opener. Hudson is one of the teams up north that's already qualified for the playoffs.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that tonight. We've been so focused on the action here, but my goodness, I think the consensus here, Greenfield going into the Division II bracket, that's the ultimate meat grinder there with all these area teams. I mean, Brook East, Brook Central, Waukesha West, Waterford, Wilmot.
Well, we've been fortunate to have, of the 18 teams we've had on Thursday Night Lights this year, 16 of them have the potential to be in the playoffs next week.
2nd and goal for the Pirates at the 7. Coming back with Bickett again, and Bickett inside the 5-yard line.
On the carry. Knocked down around the innocent 4-yard line.
So they got him down at the 4. Donnie Reesby credited with the stop. Again, clock rolling here. Hawks have to keep him out of the end zone here. He's force them to go for it on 4th down. 3rd and goal. They'll mark it at the 4. It's Berg bullying his way forward into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. Brandon Berg plows his way up the middle. And Pewaukee goes up now 36-22.
Minute 53 remaining in the game, 36-22 pending the extra point.
Well, they stop Greenfield on downs. They march it in. Berg capping it off. Up the middle from 4 yards out. Collins for the extra point. It is up and through. 37-22. So they take over on downs in the power zone. And Pewaukee now a minute and 53 away from a Woodland Conference title.
You've got to make a choice here on your kickoff, too. How are you going to handle this? Are you going to try to kick it deep? Do you want Ezekiel Banks to get a hold of the ball? Do you kick a dribbler, try to get through and skim it? Once again, have they instructed their kickoff return team, if they try to dribble it, do you catch it and toss it back? So, there's all kinds of options here. This is why coaches get paid these big bucks, right? Works out to about $1.50 an hour for most of these guys.
I didn't make National Honor Society, but I gotta believe you keep it out of Banks' hands.
I'm surprised. See all these 4.0 students out here. If we take our entire crew, we're going to try to muster together a 4.0 GPA.
You get a look at first-year coach Shane Covington. What a year he's had, taking over for Joe Cook. Guiding Greenfield to their back-to-back conference championship game. I'm just going to chip it short. Banks will run up and make the catch. Coming around the near side, has some room. Banks across the 35 and brought down short of the 40-yard line. Well, you're out of timeouts here. Here's our guys in the truck. We want to thank Paul Rudolph and the staff. Yeah, best TV crew ever. I'll second that.
Outstanding.
Yeah, these people don't realize these guys come up Thursday night to do our game, and then they've got to go back down to South Central Illinois for Friday and Saturday games.
And they're driving here from Indiana.
Yeah. Frequent flyer miles.
Our thanks extended to that marvelous crew, and then Paul Rudolph kind of coordinates things just excellently.
He's the man talking in my head all night. I'd be lost without Paul, I can tell you that. Minute 45 to go. 64 yards from the end zone. They'll toss it out. Man is out there, makes the catch. Manny McDonald inside the 20, brought down at the 10. Manny McDonald, his 4th catch tonight. And a touchdown saving tackle. But it will be 1st and goal inside the 10 here as we get one more look. Nice touch by Bartlett. I believe it was Voigt coming up from behind that saved the touchdown. Connor Voigt, the junior corner. They'll mark it at the 11, 1st and 10 there. Banks gets the call, squirts his way through the left side. Inside the 10 down to about the 7-yard line. Pickup of about 4 for Zeke Banks. Greenfield taking a lot of time here to get off the football and realign.
Yeah, Pewaukee has struggled all evening with their coverages, and all of a sudden you saw Coach Frisky sprinting down the sideline to call that timeout.
That's their 2nd timeout. Pewaukee has 1 remaining. 63 seconds remaining here in the 4th. A fine job by our crew all season long. I want to thank our 2 guys up here in the booth. Where would we be without Tom Sweattle and Eric Murray. Eric, our spotter up here. Tom running the numbers all night long.
Well,
Our camera crew.
Swiddle's expertise in Vegas running numbers has paid dividends here with us.
You weren't supposed to say that.
I know.
It's been our secret. We thank everybody. It's been fun, as always. Yep. Thumbs up to everybody on this fine crew. Had nice weather all throughout the year.
Oh, we've been
a little bit of
blessed.
rain last week, but hey, we can survive that. But for the most part, it's been good sailing. From the gun, 2nd down and 6. Bartlett on the scramble. And Bartlett, little jump pass into the end zone, touchdown Greenfield. That's how you draw that one up. Sam Streeter on the receiving end of a little jump pass. Shades of Sid Luckman by Rayvon Bartlett Jr.
That's an illusion that's not going to work well for most of them. Stopped just before the sideline.
Credit both players for staying in bounds to get that touchdown. I mean, Bartlett tight-roping the sideline, and Streeter running his route didn't go out. If he would have gone out and come back in to catch that pass, it would have been a legal touch.
As we said, you can't have a big enough lead on Greenfield because of their potential to score and score quickly.
Streeter will hold on the extra point. And the kick is up and through. Well, still some life on this near sideline for the team in green. 37-29. Onside kick forthcoming. As our guys in the control booth. You know, if they would just lighten up and have some fun every week, we'd be all right with these guys, right?
Well, they truly enjoy what they're doing. They love, doing these games. They get into it. They get the whole feel, the essence, the spirit that's generated. Hopefully the folks at home are also enjoying these broadcasts.
Okay, Coach, onside kick. Which way?
Well, I don't think you try to do the crossing style. I think, you've been working all year. The kicker for Greenfield, Sharif Othman, coach has told us he's a very, very talented kicker. So we'll see how they're going to go about this.
Not that button. No. Don't touch that one. Yeah. All right, onside kick coming. 53 seconds to go. Greenfield trailing by 8. They must recover here. They're out of timeouts. Othman will kick it low, right into the hands of the short man there, Carl Renz. The good hands people for Pewaukee, able to recover the onside kick, and the Pirates are going to celebrate a Woodland Conference title tonight.
Carl Renz is an excellent baseball player. He's had a number of schools express interest in that, and you saw him field that play. That's probably the happiest he's been, fielding a bouncer, so to speak.
All those summers taking ground balls. 3-play drive, 64 yards. Streeter the 7-yard touchdown reception. And Pewaukee take a couple of knees to put this one to bed tonight. Victory formation for the Pirates. Swanson will take a knee. See if they'll snap it one more time here. They will run one more play, and the Pewaukee Pirates. It's going to be a team to reckon with in the playoffs coming up starting next week.
And so will Greenfield.
Yes. Yeah, no easy out.
No easy out for either, whoever runs into either of these teams.
Swanson one more knee, and that will do it here tonight. Justin Frisky and the Pewaukee Pirates are Woodland Conference champions as they knock off Greenfield tonight by a final of 37-29. Coaches set to meet at the center of the field for the handshake. Shane Covington and Justin Frisky and the staff meeting out there. The players in the handshake line. When we come back, we'll have the Player of the Game Award as well as the Badger Max Trophy presentation and the Woodland Conference Championship Trophy presentation to the Pewaukee Pirates. A winner tonight over Greenfield. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. An exciting conclusion to Season 7 of our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. Pewaukee hangs on, knocking off Greenfield 37-29, and the Woodland Conference Championship to the Pewaukee Pirates. Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern, our co-players of the game.
Guys, you're throwing me. Co-players of the game. Fellas, I got to tell you, we haven't had co-players of the game. U.S. Army players of the game. You guys put it on the field. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a big honor for both of us, and I love to play with him. And
yeah,
it's great for both.
You know,
great
senior year. I mean,
how do you beat that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume there's some offensive line guys. Some of you want to thank.
I'm good.
Our entire offensive line played well. It makes it a lot easier for us when they're playing well up front.
I tell you, that's a lot of speed you guys had to contend with. You guys did a nice job of shutting them down. Sergeant Morris, U.S. Army, co-players of the game.
All right, good job, guys. It takes a team to accomplish anything. Good luck in the playoffs.
There you go. Back to you, boys.
Mike, thank you so much. So our players of the game, Seth Bickett, the junior, and Brandon Berg, the senior fullback. Berg tonight with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they had Bickett had 131 yards. Berg had 127. Each of them had 5 tackles on defense.
Bickett picked up the tough yardage tonight and the touchdown. That's got things started for the Pirates tonight.
Well, his sweep action sets up that dive play for the fullback, Berg, coming right up the middle.
First of 3 tonight for Berg. This is his second touchdown run. So congratulations to Seth Bickett and Brandon Berg, our co-players of the game, brought to you all season long by the United States Army. Army Strong. Pewaukee wins the Woodland Conference title here tonight, knocking off Greenfield 37-29 as they get set for our Badger Max Trophy presentation. And Mike is now ready. Mike, to you.
Hey, boys, it's been wild down here. And no doubt, Coach, congratulations. What a great way to finish the regular season. Come here, Greenfield, awfully good team. You guys took it to them, beat them on their home field.
Couldn't be prouder.
Yeah.
We started a journey in June, started on a hill out behind our school.
That's awesome, Coach.
300 times in a day we would go up that thing. Our guys every single day came to work. They built a foundation, and throughout the entire year we've gotten that house to be more and more solid. And you know what? It's a credit to the kids. They believed in each other. They fought for each other. And when we had our backs against the wall a couple of times tonight, we found a way.
Coach, I got to tell you, I probably talked to you after week 1, and you said, Mike, this is a special team. They've worked so hard. They put in so much sweat equity before the season. And you said, look, we got a chance to be pretty good, but this is a really good group of kids, and you're really proud of them.
Incredibly proud.
Yeah.
We're pretty good. We're not really good yet. We got to keep trying to get better so we can be really good in a few weeks. But you know what? It's just a credit. I'm so proud of this group to fight through a talented team like Greenfield, to win a conference championship on someone else's home turf, and to do it in the fashion that we did, which I thought was pretty physically dominating up front. It's a real treat, and I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Hey, Badger Max, and Andrew, you got something for him?
Coach, outstanding game. Excellent work. Way to go, guys.
Here you go, boys. Light a trophy. Get it going now, boys.
The Pewaukee Pirates, 2016 Woodland Conference champs tonight, knocking off Greenfield 37-29. We'll pause for our final break. Back with a final word on this 2016 season right after this. Eight-point victory for Pewaukee tonight. They are the 2016 Woodland Conference champs as they knock off the Eastern Division title holders Greenfield 37-29. 29. 16 of our 18 teams in the playoffs, which start next week.
Yeah, I mean, and we've been blessed by all these coaches, these athletes in the different schools, their administrators, to allow us to do this.
Terry, it's been fun.
We've enjoyed it. We look forward to next year. I don't know how we top some of the great games we've seen this year.
Well, we want to thank you for tuning in all season long for Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football. I want to let you know we're working on our schedule for the upcoming high school hoop season. That will be starting Fridays coming up in January. Our thanks to Mike McGivern and Kara down on the field. Our guys in the truck, thank you so much. Eric Murray, our spotter. Tom Swiddle, our stat man. For Terry Kelly, John Weiser, thank you for tuning in tonight. Pewaukee, the winner over Greenfield. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24.
Presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Northwest Surgery Center, Menards, and by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.